457 BC. All right. Now we take it. From the decree, 457, there shall be 7 sevens and 62 sevens. All right. Remember what we said that was. 7 plus 62 is 69. All right. First, there will be, it divides up the period into two groups. First, 7 sevens. How long is 7 sevens? 49 years. First, there's a 49. Interesting. First, there's a 49, which is like a little jubilee period at the beginning. It's interesting because it says, then Jerusalem shall be built with street and wall. Well, it was in that period that Jerusalem was built with street and wall. That happened during the first 49 years. That's when Ezra returns, 457. He restores around that time, he restores the people, 457, 445, 444. Nehemiah returns, 444, 432. He becomes governor, and on. And so that's where you have Ezra, Nehemiah, and the rebuilding of Jerusalem, just like it said in Daniel, during that first period, 7 sevens. Then there shall be from that period, and that comes out to, all right, math people, it comes out to, if you take 457 minus 49, you get 408 BC. You got that? No? Okay. The guy's saying, I don't got anything. The guy just said, that's okay. 408, Daniel got it. That was the main. 408 BC. We're at 408 now. 7 sevens, 450, 408. Now we have 62 sevens to go. 62 sevens. And that will make, to combine, will make the first 69 sevens one short of the last. Okay? All right. 457 minus 49 years, 408 BC. 408 BC. 408 BC. Now that you don't, this is, you're going to hit. Now we're going to hit it. Are you ready? All right. Who's ready? Barbara's ready. Barbara's not ready. Barbara, I know Barbara. She's not ready. She's just saying she's not. This is going. She's going to complain about this message when I see her on Monday. In school, this is the way she was. She would just say, I'm ready, but she wasn't. 408. 408. Okay. 62 sevens is how much? Anybody have it? 434. 62 sevens, 408 BC, count down, 62 sevens, 434, 434, heading down. What do you get when you subtract 434 from 408 BC? The year 26 AD. And you can vary it to 2627 AD. Why is that important? That is the year when Messiah began his ministry. That's when he entered Jerusalem. That's when he began. He ministered for about 3 years, 3.5 years. Around 2930 AD he died. Around there. To around 2627 begins the New Testament ministry. Begins until Mashiach. It comes. Now, I could have done it a little simpler. You say, what? Why didn't you do it simpler? I could have done this. Take the date of the decree, and simply don't split up that 69 period. Just do 69 times 7, which is 483 years. Just simply count back from the decree, 483 years. That's 69 sevens. That's the first group. And you come up to the same thing, 2627 AD. It just so happens that it all converges on one person. One person who in history just happened to begin his ministry about the year 2627 AD. Who? Happened to be the same guy who just happened to be born in Bethlehem, just happened to ride into Jerusalem on a donkey, happened to fulfill Isaiah 53 as the suffering servant, happened to be a Jewish rabbi who becomes the light to the Gentiles, happens to be one solitary life, who happens to be the central figure of human history by which we mark time, embraced by all nations, by people who don't even know this prophecy. This person whose words alone would make him the most influential person in history by virtues of his teachings, by the mathematics of the Hebrew Scriptures all just happen to come out to the very year of his coming to Jerusalem. That's awesome stuff. That's awesome stuff. That's awesome stuff. We didn't make this up, you know. I mean, it's not like we scribbled this in. Okay, get the math right, get this right to the year of this. This is what the Hebrew Scriptures have here. This alone is Messiah, even if you knew nothing. He had to come before the temple was destroyed. And then, you got a 480-something period from around the time, which is around 4 centuries before Christ. Either way. And he becomes the light to the Gentiles. How awesome is God? How awesome is God? Now let me sum it up in a real simple way. I want to, despite the math, keep it very simple. Let me sum up this thing, and so in a way you can use to your life. First of all, keep it in mind, okay? Keep the date of that decree in mind. Simply add 69 sevens, you get 2627 AD, right there. The prophet Daniel was given a prophecy, specifically naming when Messiah would come, who would seal up all vision, all prophecy, all that. Now, remember, there's 1 7 that was missing, 69, 70. There's one yet to come. So this final thing is going to come. We are looking forward to the last week, the last 7 years. The rabbis themselves, the born witness, that this is about Messiah's coming. The prophecy itself gives the actual absolute cutoff date, 70 AD, Messiah's come, like it or not. And then further, the prophecy gives an actual prophetic countdown of math that starts from 457 as the most comprehensive decree. Add 483 years, you got the year of the coming of the Messiah right there. Of all the years in human history, of all the years, it just happens to be the beginning of the ministry of a certain rabbi from Nazareth. Of all the years. That's enough. I mean, that's awesome enough. When we finish this, when we conclude the next time we do this, we'll open up the forbidden prophecy to the mystery of the 70th seven. And it's filled with things, but let's take it home now. Let's take it home now. A few points to close with. Number one, God took, you learned tonight, the Sabbath years, which were judgment, the 497, and he turned it into something good. 490 to redemption. That's just like God. He delights in taking bad things and turning them into good. He delights in it. He likes it. It's his thing. That's what a redeemer does. He doesn't just come. He doesn't just say, forget that, and I'm just gonna go with another planet. I don't like this planet. He takes it and he makes it good. And so God delights in taking the bad things and making them. He delights in taking the less than perfect, the bad things in your life, and turning them for good. God delights in it. He takes the bad marriage, he takes the failed thing, he takes the junk, he takes the tragedies, he takes the bad childhood, and he says, I'm going to take that thing and they're going to thank God, they're going to thank me for it because I'm going to turn it for good. You can actually thank God for bad things in your life because he really does, if you let him, turn it for good. And then you could actually say, wow, Lord, I thank you. I thank you for everything. I thank you for that childhood, even if it was tough, it led me to you. And I'd rather have that than a great childhood and not have you. Whatever it is, he will use it for good. So don't ever be discouraged in the Lord. Whatever you got, bring it to him. And trust him and say, Lord, I'm not going to curse this thing anymore. I'm going to lift it up to you. You're good. You know what you're doing. You've been at the job a long time, and you've done this for Jerusalem. You can do it for me. Number one. Number two, notice how exact God is, how perfect he is. You know how many details had to go right into place for that to happen 483 years later? Do you know how many details? If a person hiccups at the wrong place, that throws history off. You know that. After a certain period of time, you do one slight thing, affects this person. That's the way it is. One person, if they turn this way, if they met the other person instead of that person and all that stuff. How many details in life? That means every single molecule of air had to be in the right place for this to happen. It's true. For God to even answer one prayer, he's got to do everything. For God to put a promise in your life and it comes to pass, he had to have everything in the universe be perfect for you.